Let's start a new chapter today, that is exponents in maths. Exponent is what are the rules of it will be explained in this video. So you must have seen some numbers written sometimes with certain powers. You must have noticed these numbers written in your certain books. What does these numbers on the top denote? They tell us the powers. They are also sometimes called what? Powers, or we call them what? Exponents, also index. So these are the names by which we call the numbers which are written on the top of the number which is down. The number which is down is called what? A base. So number written down on the line is called a base, okay, and the digit on the top of it, okay, written on top of it is the power or is the exponent or index. This tells us that 5 has to be multiplied how many times in itself? 3 times. 6 has to be multiplied how many times in itself? 4 times. And this 5 has to be multiplied how many times? 8 times in itself. So what happens in math, sometimes we have certain calculations where we have to repeatedly write a number, digit, again and again when we have to show what that is getting multiplied. So what do? Instead of writing the number in this format, we write the number once and count how many times it has to be multiplied. Okay, we count how many times it has to be multiplied. For example, this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the answer will be what? 5 raised to the power 8. Okay. Sometime you must have seen numbers like this is written and you do not have time to write it again and again in the paper. So you do what? You write it once and you see how many times it is getting multiplied in itself. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you write what? 0.3 raised to the power 4. Okay, so this is what the number 4 on the top written is called what? Power, and we call it what? Exponent, and we study it under which heading in maths? Exponent. Now let's understand the rules of exponents in detail. Suppose sometimes you have a fraction, a upon b written, and it is getting multiplied into the same fraction. Now this fraction also has a power m and this fraction has a power n. So what do you do in this case? You write the fraction once and you add both the powers like this. Okay, what is the condition? If the same fractions are getting multiplied and they have what? Different powers, or you can say different exponents, then what happens? The exponents get added. For example, let's take an example now. You have a fraction 7 upon 3 and again you are having the same fraction, that is 7 upon 3. This 7 upon 3 has a power 10 and this 7 upon 3 has a power 3. So in the paper, instead of writing 7 upon 3 10 times and then this 7 upon 3 3 times, we do what? We have a solution for it. In the answer we write once what? 7 upon 3, and then we do what? We add these two powers. 10 plus 3 will become what? 7 upon 3 is to 13. So this is the first rule of exponent, which says what? If the same fractions are getting multiplied, remember, multiplied, same fraction means what? Same numerator and same denominator, then their different powers. If a power is 10 and the power is 3, powers are different, then the powers get added only on a condition: the fractions have to be the same. Now let's look at the second rule of exponent. Suppose you have a fraction a upon b and it has a power. Now it is further enclosed into one more bracket and has another power outside it and outside of it. Then in this case, what you will do? You will write this fraction once and these two powers, now they will do what? They will get multiplied into each other. So now the answer will be what? Then the powers get what? Multiplied, and the answer will be 14. Remember, these two powers are of the same fraction, but they are written what? Outside different brackets. But the first you will multiply this fraction twice, and then whatever is the answer, you will multiply it 7 times. So what do we do? Instead of expanding and the calculation, we have just one calculation, that is what we write the fraction once and the two different powers written outside two different types of bracket are multiplied into each other. Is that clear? So this is the second rule of exponent. Suppose I have a fraction that is 1 upon 3, 2 लिखा है, and then a curly bracket is made and outside is written 3. So instead of solving this sum 1 upon 3 into 1 upon 3, फिर करूँगी 3 का, okay, that means what, 1 upon 3, 1 into 1 1, 3 into 3 9, then करूँगी फिर 3 times. Instead of doing so lengthy calculation, multiply, dragging this, what do? We have another shortcut method. We write this fraction once, 1 upon 3. See, we have to write the same fraction here. We write the same fraction and then we do what? We multiply the two powers into it, 3 into 2. Okay, that is how much? 6. Okay. So if you see here, we'll get the same answer. Here, when I expanded it twice, we had to first multiply it 2 times, 1 upon 3 into 1 upon 3. We got the answer 1 upon 9, which has to be multiplied now three times. So 1 upon 9, 1 upon 9, 1 upon 9 will give you how much? 1 into 1 into 1, 9 into 9 into 9. Because it's 29. And if we do by this rule of exponent, you'll also get the same answer there. 1 into 1, 1. 1 into 1 into 1, 6 times, and 3 into 2 is 3 into 3 itself. How many times? 6 times will give you what? 729. So this is the shortcut. This is the second rule of what? Exponent. Let's look at the third rule of exponent now. Now if you remember, we have done what? The first rule of exponent, that was related to what? Multiplication. Yes or no? A upon b was written with certain power and a upon b another was written with certain power. So what will be the result? A upon b will be 3 plus 4. Okay, so a upon b will be 7. This was related to what? Multiplication. Now let's look at a division. When the fractions are in division, what will be the behavior of the exponents or the powers? If suppose we have a fraction a upon b, okay, now this has a power what? 7, and we have to divide with the same fraction a upon b and it has a power what? 3. When the first power is greater than the second power, remember there are two conditions which I will be explaining here in this part. A upon b is one fraction, both fractions are same. Okay, first power is greater than the second power, so the condition will be what? You will write the same fraction, and you will be subtracting the two powers. When you will be subtracting the two powers? When the first one is greater than the second one. So easily they can be subtracted. Answer will be what? A upon b, and 7 minus 3 we know it's how much? 4. Okay, so this is the condition when the first power is greater than the second power. Now let's look at a condition where the first power is smaller than the second power. This was very easy. Two same fractions getting divided, having different powers in such a way that first power is greater than the second power, and what will be the result? The first power will be subtracting the second power from it. Let's look at the example of it first of all. We have a fraction 1 upon 4. Okay, so 1 upon 4, let it have a value called power called 8. We are dividing it with the same fraction 1 upon 4, which has a power now 3. So in this case, in the answer, what you will do, instead of doing the sum, expanding it and wasting your time, you will do what? Shortcut method apply करोगे. जो rules क्या कहता है? Same fraction आप लिखो 1 upon 4, and अगर पहली पावर बड़ी है और छोटी पावर दूसरी पावर छोटी है, then the two powers get subtracted in this way. So the answer will be what? 1 upon 4 is to the power 5. So this is the answer in exponential form. Okay everyone. Now suppose let's take the fourth condition where the first power is smaller than the second power. Okay, like this one. Suppose a upon b is a fraction getting divided by same fraction, and this has now what 3 power, and this has now what 7 power. In this condition, what will be the result? The answer which you'll write will be written in this format. The answer directly, if you want to learn from the rule, will be what? You'll write 1 up on the top. 1 on the top of the fraction, that is in numerator's place you'll write 1, and in denominator place you'll write what? A upon B. Okay, and it will be what? 7 minus 3. Is that clear? How is it done? Let me explain you in detail. Suppose I have this question which I need to solve. Let's take a question also. Let's change this A upon B into a fraction, a certain fraction. Let it be 3 upon 5, which has what? Power 3. It getting divided by 3 upon 5, which has a power what? 7. Let's write it in normal way as we will solve it. 3 upon 5 will be written how many times in the numerator's place? 3 times. जैसे डिवाइड करते हैं वैसे डिवाइड करेंगे. जैसे होता है ना 3 डिवाइडेड बाई 5, तो हम इसको कैसे लिखते हैं? 3 upon 5 लिखते हैं. Same way we are going to write this number in that same format. 3 upon 5 raised to the power 3 is getting divided by how much? 3 upon 5 7 times. So we'll write 3 upon 5 how many times? 7 times. Now as we cancel the same things on the top and down, we'll do the same way. 3 upon 5, 3 upon 5 कट हो गया. ये 3 upon 5, ये 3 upon 5 कट हो गया. ये 3 upon 5, 3 upon 5 कट हो गया. तो ऊपर क्या आएगा? ऊपर तो ऑब्वियसली 1 आएगा ना आंसर. तो ये जो 1 आता है, जो रूल कहता है यहाँ 1 आएगा when the first power is smaller than the 7 power, next power. This 1 is got from this place. Can you see? We have taken it out. I've showed you with the functioning. तो अगर हम पावर, पहली पावर छोटी है और दूसरी पावर बड़ी है, तो पावर बड़ी वाली नीचे जाएंगे सारे, ऊपर वाले will all will get cancelled. Now nothing is left, so we are going to write what? 1 in the top numerator's place. And what is left down after cutting 3 fractions here? What is left? 3 upon 4 times. So how many 3 upon 5 are left in the denominator? 4 times. 4 are left. So 3 upon 5 we have written here 4. So this with the calculation I have explained you this part. See here we got the same answer. A upon B, and 7 minus 3 will give you 4. So this answer, if you can check with this answer, is exactly the same. So if any power, so if the first fraction has a smaller power then the second fraction, then the answer will be what? 1. We'll write the same fraction down, 1 upon 8 upon B, and 8 minus 4. And with this calculation here, I've explained you how we are getting this rule number 4 in the video. The fifth rule says what? If a fraction is written in this format, A upon B, and has a power that is what? 0. Answer will always be what? 1. So if any number in the question they are giving you this 6 raised to the power 0, you'll write directly there what? 1. Okay. 5 upon 3 raised to the power 0, you'll write directly there what? 1. So how this question will come in the paper? Let's look at certain examples. 4 raised to the power 0, 5 raised to the power 0. We know 4 raised to the power 0, any number, any digit raised to power 0, in that place you'll write what? 1. So 4 raised to the power 0 will give you what? 1 in its place. Then we have what? Plus 5 in the center. So you will write there plus 5. Plus, and 5 raised to the power again what? 0. So again 1 will be written there. So what will be the answer? 2. Okay. Now suppose we have a similar question. And suppose the question is 4 raised to the power 0 multiplied by 7 raised to the power 0 multiplied by 3 raised to the power 0. We all know that any number raised to the power 0 will give you what? 1 in its place. So 4 raised to the power 0 will be what? 1. Okay. 7 raised to the power 0 will be 1. And 3 raised to the power 0 will be 1. So wherever you find any digit raised to power 0, answer in that place will be what? 1. And the functioning other rest part of the question will be the same. So 1 into 1 will give you answer what? 1. Let's start talk about the sixth rule of exponent. If any fraction or any number is written with a negative power. So what happens with that digit? The power becomes what? We make the reciprocal of it. In order to make this sign into positive, we may change the number into its reciprocal form. Like a, it's a digit right now. So if you want to remove this negative sign from here, we'll make it reciprocal. So just the a is in this format, और a अपॉन 1 का सो a रेज़ टू द पावर -1 इसका क्या हो जाता है? रेसिप्रोकल. तो अभी क्या है? a अपॉन 1 है और इसका रेसिप्रोकल क्या हो जाएगा? 1 अपॉन a. नाउ दिस -1 विल चेंज इनटू व्हाट? +1. सो एनी नंबर giving what? Any numbers given with minus power, you will write what? You will make the reciprocal of that digit. So 5 का reciprocal क्या हो जाएगा? 1 upon 5 and the power will become what? Positive power. Okay, now this is what? 1 power. Now suppose you have a fraction with, now you have a fraction. Let's look at the fraction also. 7 upon 3 with -1. सो आई टोल्ड यू व्हाट फ्रैक्शन का, नंबर का, डिजिट का रेसिप्रोकल हो जाता है जब -1 में पावर दियो या -2, 3 वॉट एवर इट इज़. सो 7 अपॉन 3 का रेसिप्रोकल क्या हो जाएगा? 3 अपॉन 7 एंड दिस -1 विल बिकम व्हाट? +1 नाउ. ओके, लेट्स टेक वन मोर एग्जाम्पल. 4 अपॉन 9 गिवन विद व्हाट? -3 पावर. अब -3 हम नहीं सॉल्व कर पाएंगे जब तक ये प्लस हो जाएगा, नहीं होता है. सो प्लस बनाने के लिए हम क्या करते हैं? इसका रेसिप्रोकल करेंगे. 4 अपॉन 9 विल बिकम व्हाट? 9 अपॉन 4 इज टू पावर हाउ मच? 3. ओके, दिस नेगेटिव विल नाउ बिकम व्हाट? पॉजिटिव. And now you can solve the sum as you solve usually. Okay, you can do the calculation and find out the answer. So sometimes also what happen, you have some lengthy questions where you have something given with positive power and something given with negative power. Okay, in that case 5 into 2 will be 5 into 2, that is 25. 5 into 2 nahi, 5 into 5 25 plus this 5 is written with -3 power. This -3 has to be made what? Positive. So in order to make positive, what are we going to do? We will make it what? Reciprocal of this number. 5 का रेसिप्रोकल क्या हो जाएगा? 1/5. एंड एज सून एज यू मेक इट रेसिप्रोकल, उसकी पावर क्या हो जाती है? पॉजिटिव हो जाती है. ओके एवरीवन, सपोज यू हैव अ सिमिलर सम. अब इसको 25 तो आ गया आपका 25. ओके, अब इसका सॉल्व कर लो. 1 का आपको कितनी बार करना है? 1/5 को आपको करना है 3 टाइम्स. तो 25 प्लस 1 into 1 वी नो दैट इट्स 1. 5 into 5 into 5 इट्स व्हाट? 125. तो आपको इसको सॉल्व करना है. ओके, नाउ सपोज वी हैव सम सिमिलर क्वेश्चन विद मल्टीप्लिकेशन साइन. तो 5 into 5 into 5 raised to power -3. -3 में है पता है 5 का -3 है तो इसका रेसिप्रोकल हो जाएगा. सो 1/5 into 1/5 into 1/5. ओके, ये 5 cancelled. What is the answer? 1/5 is the answer. So whatever are the rules taught in this video will be further utilized in solving the questions in the upcoming videos.